Central Valley Talk Live. Austin Reed coming to you from our Tower District studios on this Thursday. It is the 28th of October. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Austin Reed on air. Hey, our next guest joining us live in our Tower District studios today, we've got Marilyn and Jimmy, and you guys are with the organizers of a rally that's going to be happening on Tuesday, November 2nd in Exeter at the Women's Club. Now, the group that you guys represent is called Unmasked Tulare County. Yes. How long have you guys had this this group?
It's only been about 4 months.
4 months.
Or so,
okay.
yeah, that I started the group on Facebook. And it's just exploded since then. So, yeah.
So tell me, let's talk a little bit about well, before we get to the rally, talk about the mission of Unmasked Tulare County.
Sure.
I'll let you take the lead on that.
Sure. So really what we do is we serve to educate the public and organize like-minded community members who believe in the preservation of personal liberty, freedom. We live in an interesting time right now, and we're finding that there are tons of people, especially in Tulare County, who are concerned about what's going on in the world. And so we decided, you know what, instead of just complaining about things, we're going to put together a group who can actually put some action to those things. And so we've been organizing rallies at school board meetings and different things along those lines. And just the most incredible part about this has been just the connections that we've made. And so when Marilyn started this thing, we thought it would be, 20 or 30 like-minded people just, getting together for whatever. And it's blossomed to where we're over 1,200 people in our Facebook group right now. There's a ton of others who don't do Facebook who are involved in what we're doing. We've branched out. We now have Tulare, Visalia, Exeter, and Porterville chapters that are going strong. And the nice thing about this town hall that we're doing is that it's really the first time that all of these groups have gotten together and put something together like this. So we're really excited to see what happens.
Marilyn, for you, why is this close to home?
That's a great question. Because I can see that there's a lot of tyrannical overreach, and I think it's time for us as citizens to stand up and say enough is enough. And I think a little bit of civil disobedience is in order. And I know that I'm not alone in that. So.
Do you feel that we've reached a point in the pandemic that there should be changes now in mandates as far as not forcing people to wear masks, maybe freedom of choice when it comes to the vaccine?
Absolutely.
Is that kind of is that another mission too?
Absolutely.
Of it that way?
It all should be a personal decision made between the family and, maybe if they need to get, when it comes to the vaccine, if they need to, reach out to their doctor. But it shouldn't be something that's forced upon us by the government.
Yeah, and that's an important thing to mention too about the mission of the group is not, we're called Unmasked Tulare County,
Yeah.
but we're not anti-mask.
Right.
We're not anti-vaccine. We're anti-mandate. We believe that all of these decisions should be made by the individual, by their family, in consultation with their doctor, and all of these things. So what we're seeing that we're really concerned about is so when Marilyn talks about tyrannical overreach, the way that our nation was founded, what makes us unique and what makes us great within the world is the fact that we do have the ability to make our personal decisions, to govern ourselves.
Yeah.
And we see that slipping and we see that leaving. And we really truly believe that in every generation there are moments where people need to stand up for what is right. People need to stand up for what we believe. And we find ourselves in one of those moments right now. And so what was beautiful about this is she started this with just a few people. And what we found is that it is widespread. There's so many people who feel the same way that we do, but they're scared. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They don't know how to engage with school boards. They don't know how to engage with city councils, don't know how to do town halls or gather people together. And we don't either. We're just a couple who said, we feel passionate about this. And we felt, we're Christians, and we felt like the Lord is telling us, hey, this is what you need to be doing at this moment. And we felt like He's blessed our whole thing here. And, the results have been something that we couldn't do on our own. People throughout this pandemic have been looking for hope, been looking for reasons to believe, looking for something that's bigger than themselves or something bigger that they can generate. And we've been extremely open about our faith aspect in this and saying, look, if this thing is going to really turn around, if we're going to see breakthrough that happens in California, it's going to be the hand of God who does it. It's not going to be just us. And so, that's a huge part of our mission, is really just being obedient to what we feel like we've been called to do.
Have any of you dealt with COVID? Any family members have gotten it? What's that been like when that, if so, what were your thoughts on the matter of COVID?
I mean, COVID is real, right? I mean, we realize that,
We all-
and we're not, COVID deniers or any of those kind of things. We all have, loved ones and families who have gotten really sick. Our pastor and his wife almost died not too long ago. We actually had a pastor in our church pass away, probably in the first several months of COVID. And so I think the important thing is we refuse to live in fear to anything.
Yeah.
And, to me, one of the things that has come up so often is there are worse things in life than death for a believer. I mean, I believe that, when we die, there's better on the other side, right? We're going to heaven. And so I'm not scared of the death side of that. And truth doesn't bend to circumstances. And so what's true before you have COVID is true after you have COVID. And we've had this conversation. If we got it really bad and really sick, does it change the mission? No, because truth doesn't change. And so, I feel for people who have been impacted by this, and, those who've had sick loved ones or been sick themselves, those who have passed away. I mean, this is real, and it's terrible, and it's a bad thing. But you can't just take away choice, and you can't take away personal liberty just because there's a pandemic going on. And so that's kind of what we're fighting to preserve.
Well, and if you're living in fear, are you really even living? I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have given up so much because they've been so scared that they were going to get COVID,
Yeah.
And
what started out as 15 days to flatten the curve is now what?
A year and a
500,
half.
almost 600
Yeah.
days, in. And so you had asked about, are we at a place in COVID where we should be looking at things differently? And I would say absolutely.
Yeah.
When Governor Newsom first closed down the state, like, I was all on board with that because we had no idea what we were dealing with. Right? We didn't know what this thing was that was coming across the world into our nation, and we had no clue how to deal with it. Here we are, months and months later. And so we've had plenty of experience. We know what to do. We know that there's, other therapeutics and things that are available. We've had to navigate through in our businesses and all of these things. And a lot of the stuff that's happening now just doesn't make any logical sense. And so that's kind of what if any of this was logical, if it was actually scientific, as they're calling it, we could get on board with that.
Yeah.
But there's so many gaps, and there's so many things that just are ludicrous.
Yeah.
That people have to, and people are seeing that. Like, even people who have been on the opposite side of the fence, that's one of the really encouraging things, is we're seeing folks who are like, yeah, I went and got the vaccine. I'm totally vaccinated, but I don't think it should be mandated for kids. Like, it doesn't make sense to do it that way. And so folks who have traditionally maybe been on the opposite side of where we would be personally are coming along board and saying, what, something just doesn't smell right here. And we need to do something about it before it's too late.
And then, also there's so many different stories
Sure.
about this. The vaccine is totally new. We've never made a vaccine like this in history.
Right.
So fast.
Right.
So I me personally, I find it disturbing where people judge others that maybe they don't wear a mask or they're not getting vaccinated.
Sure.
I think that is, like you said, it's choice.
Right.
Freedom
Yeah,
of, and that's kind of your
absolutely.
thought. If somebody wants to wear a mask, totally
Yeah.
fine, no problem.
Right.
But and if somebody thinks, what, I don't want to get vaccinated because of X, Y, and Z, that's their choice.
Sure.
Because that's America.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I mean, if the vaccine does what it's supposed to do, if it protects you, then you shouldn't be concerned if someone is unvaccinated and comes into your presence. And so that's one of the big gaps that we feel like is out there that's not really being fully discussed is, we were told that once the vaccine was out and it was available, that we would get our people who are at the highest risk vaccinated, and then we could go back to normal. Well, we've all seen that that's not the case, right? And so it's like, well, what happened to that? Why are we not talking about why that changed? Why are we not talking about the fact that, we've been told 50 different things along the way, and once we've gotten to that point, the rules have changed again.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things where you start to lose trust. And again, we're not anti-vax as a group. We're pro the ability to choose, and we're pro personal liberty and being able to make that decision for yourself.
Yeah, it's okay to have different opinions,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely. Since that's spot on. It's like, why can't we agree to disagree and have a different and still be friends
Right.
too? I feel like there's been such a divide that it's like, oh well, you're unvaccinated, we can't be friends, but we
Yeah.
have people that we know that are in our group that are vaccinated, but they still believe that there should be a choice.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
And we can still love on each other, and that's the biggest thing. Is it's
Yeah.
not a walking around angry like all the time. Oh, I hate you because you look at this thing differently than I do. We're about connection, and we're about building bridges, and we're about being able to have everybody under the tent, as long as we're believing that everybody belongs, right?
Yeah.
So it's really about it's about those connections. It's about the personal connections and being able to just not be hateful towards somebody who believes differently than what we do.
we've got about a minute left. Let's talk about the rally one more time. Marilyn, you want to promote that? Take that question?
Yeah, so this Tuesday, November 2nd at 6 o'clock, correct? Oh my goodness, I don't know because there's so many things going on. At the Exeter Women's Club. So we just want to encourage everybody that would like to attend. You're welcome to attend. Assemblyman Devin Mathis is going to be our speaker. So we'd like to see you guys all out there.
Yeah.
That's a big name you got.
Yeah,
is.
so it's good.
Yeah.
And, we're going to have speakers from our other groups as well. So we'll be up there speaking. We'll have Porterville, we'll have Exeter. And it's really just a time where people can come. And a lot of people are confused. What do we do? What are our next steps? And so we're going to be talking through a lot of
about
that
it,
stuff.
Yeah.
I was so. I'll share this final story real quick. I was so mad. This happened about maybe three months ago. I was with my director. We were driving back. We went to, gosh, I don't remember what city it was, but I was like an hour away from here. We're driving back, and I desperately need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I've got cystic fibrosis, so when I have to go, I have to go. It's
Yeah.
like, and I remember going into, a rest stop or whatever, and the bathrooms are closed. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Right.
This is a year.
We're 18 months in, 19
yeah,
months in, right?
and the bathrooms aren't open.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's my soapbox. Check it out, everybody. The Unmasked Tulare County. They're on Facebook and Instagram, and the rally, of course, is on Tuesday night in
It is.
Exeter.
Yes.
In Exeter.
Thanks for coming on,
Thank you
Jimmy
for
and
having us.
Marilyn.
Having
Appreciate
us.
it. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm Austin Breed. You're watching Central Valley Talk. We're back with another guest coming right up.